guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. I have a very fun video today. I wanted to do a reading recap, basically my March TBR reading recap of what I read in March. And if you guys remember in my last video, I shared with you guys what I was going to be reading in March, and I did in fact finish all of them except for one. The last book that I was going to read, I just could not really get into it, so I was going to just take a break and then wait until I started my April TBR list for that, which that video will be coming out next week. So I'm very excited to be filming that here soon as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and just kind of talk about all the books that I read in March. If you don't remember, this is the stack of all the books I read in March, and I basically loved every single one. So I'm very excited to share my opinions with you guys, and hopefully you guys will be interested in or wanting to read these after I am done talking about them. So let's go ahead and get today's video started. Okay, I know I just shared with you guys all the books I did read in March, but I also had this one on my March TBR list. I tried to start reading it actually a couple days ago, but I just could not really get into it. So I think I'm just gonna pause on this book and kind of just read it another time, because it's just not, I'm just not feeling it right now. So, and that's totally okay, but I will probably come back to it. It seems good. I'm just not really in the mood to read this book at the moment. So yeah, we just took a pause on this one, but that's okay. I did, like I said, read all my other books though for March, and I'm very excited to start talking about each one to you guys. Okay, the first book I did read in March was Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. And I love this book. It was actually pretty good. I did not know what I was gonna be expecting with this book, but I did enjoy it. It was kind of my reading that I was going from February into March, so I went ahead and just added it to my March TBR list. But I do recommend this book. I think I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I think the reason why I might have just not enjoyed it because it was kind of in third person point of view, so it was just kind of hard to get into a little bit. But I do love the main characters and just their story together, and there wasn't much romance in this one, so I think that was the other reason why I had a hard time a little bit with this book. But yeah, it's just about Evie. She's basically the villain's assistant, and something crazy kind of happens that comes up in here, and the Evie and the villain, they work together to solve and see what is going on. And then the wild thing happens at the end of it, to where there is going to be definitely potential and more action in the second book whenever she starts to release the second one. So I'm very excited to see what will happen in the second one, because it did leave off in a good cliffhanger. But yeah, there's a lot of action that goes on, and just problem solving, and it's definitely kind of young adult. Well, I don't know if it's really young adult, but it does have the fantasy aspect as well a little bit, because there is magic in this, but it's also humans, and then just kind of a villain that has some powers. So yeah, good book. Definitely recommend. Yeah, so like I said, I'm excited for the second one to come out after. Hopefully it'll be this year, so we'll see. Okay, the next book I read was Kingdom of the Cursed, which is part of the Kingdom of the Wicked series. It is by Carrie Manscalo. I don't know really how to pronounce her last name, but I actually enjoyed this book. I probably rated this a 4 stars out of 5 as well. It was good. Definitely not my favorite out of the series so far. I still enjoy the first one of the Kingdom of the Wicked series. It was just, the thing that I did not like about it is it was slow. Not a lot of action going on. So it was just hard to kind of want to get into it a little bit, because yeah, it's just very slow. And I don't do well with slow books, but I do recommend the series definitely so far. Emilia and Prince of Wrath are my 2 favorite characters in this book, and there is a little bit of chemistry that goes on between these 2 in this book, but I obviously cannot say much because it is the second book into the Kingdom of the Wicked series. But if you are interested in reading the series, highly recommend it. The first book does have a lot of action in it, and a lot of romance kind of into it, a little bit chemistry going on. But if you are a fantasy reader and also a romance reader and just action reader, I think the Kingdom of the Wicked series is definitely something I would recommend to you guys. And the second book was good. It's just not my favorite so far, so I'm anxious to see what will happen in the third book if I ever do get to that one, but who knows, it could be on my April TBR as well. But yeah, so this is Kingdom of the Cursed by Carrie Manscalo, and that's all I have to say about this one. Okay, this next one, I had mixed feelings about this book for a little bit, and then I kind of had to sit with it and think about if I did enjoy this book enough, if I would recommend it to people. But I know other people, because it was our book club read, they loved it. So it was The Nighting Gale by Christine Hanna. I rate this one, I would rate it at 3.5 stars, but on Goodreads I did put 4 stars because you cannot do half stars. So I definitely rate this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Not my favorite book I have ever read. It was good, but I didn't enjoy it as much as the other girls in book club that did. The reason why I don't think I enjoyed it is because it's a historical fiction, and I don't do historical fiction that well, unfortunately. I wish I enjoyed it a lot compared like the other girls did, and just other people out there that do love Christine Hanna and The Nighting Gale, but I just had a hard time getting into it. I loved the love story between the two sisters and just their point of view of what was going on in Paris in World War II. But I could not get into it because I just don't like to go back, I guess, that far. But yeah, it's about two sisters. They're experiencing World War II, and each sister, they have their own experiences they go through with the war. Like, one of them has her own family. Her husband has to go and fight in the war, and her sister is younger and single and just kind of experiences World War II from her point of view. So it's kind of interesting to read that and see what they experience separately. But other than that, I just could not get into it. I'm just not a historical fiction girly, so I was just kind of disappointed. But it is a good book club read, I think, and just a good book to discuss with people, but it's just not my favorite that I've read, definitely for sure this year. So that is The Nighting Gale by Christine Hanna. Okay, these last two I loved, and I'm so excited to keep reading these series. But first of all, it's The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I love this book. I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars as well. I loved it. It was just good. It's a good thriller book if you need, and Jennifer Lynn knows how to definitely do thriller books for sure. It's about a girl that just does not have money. She lost her mom, and she finds out that she inherits a lot of money from somebody she has never met, and the whole family of the Hawthorne guy, they are all upset. They did not inherit his money, and this random 16-year-old girl inherited all his money, all his foundation, house, everything. And then it turns into a game of why she's wanting to figure out how she ended up with all his money, and his grandsons kind of help her out, but then they're also kind of mad at her, obviously, because she inherited all the money. It is just good, and it will keep you interested and just want to keep reading to find out why she inherited the money, and just a whole bunch of other mystery they talk about in this. And so yeah, it's just a very good book. She knew what she was doing, and I'm excited to keep reading this series. I did not think I would love it as much as I did, but I loved it, and I was not disappointed with this book at all. And then the last one out of my March TBR recap list that I have read in March is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes as well, and I loved this book. I ate this book up. I definitely give this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The only thing I think is just it's a young adult, and I do like young adult reading, but I'm also more just adult girly kind of book. But this book was really good. It's definitely Criminal Minds type book for sure, which I think that's why I loved it so much, because I do love watching Criminal Minds. And if you love watching Criminal Minds or just any criminal type show, this series is going to be it for you, because each character, especially the main character, her name is Cassie. She is basically a profiler, and she joins this program called The Naturals, where there are 4 other kids around her age. They each have their own kind of specialty. There's like a girl that can read emotions, another person that can read lies, and there's another profiler, and then also a person that can just read just some kind of energy. So no, the emotion, no, he's the guy that reads the emotions. There's a girl that is smart and just can give out facts, and then yeah, there's the one that is the liar that can read people that are lying, and then you also have another profiler. So yeah, it's definitely Criminal Minds type. Highly recommend. It's interesting reading some cold cases that they do try to solve in this book, and then there's also a case that she gets stuck into that she's trying to solve, and it's just so good. Highly recommend it. I love this series, and now I cannot stop recommending this book to a lot of people, because I know a lot of people out there that do love Criminal Minds and just criminal type stuff, or just thriller mystery type books. So I've been definitely recommending this book to a lot of people, and I know some girls in my book club, I've been seeing them add this to their reading list for this year on Goodreads, so I'm very excited, and I hope they do read it, because it is just so good. And Jennifer Lynn Barnes, she's just a good writer, and she knows how to keep you on your toes and want to keep reading these type of books just to see what is going to happen at the end. And then of course it kind of leaves with a cliffhanger, and so that is where reading the rest of the series comes at. So I will definitely be reading the rest of this series for sure. But yes, so these are the books I read on my March TBR list. I was not disappointed. This was a really good March TBR list in general, I think. I was definitely satisfied overall, and I was not bored most of the time for my March TBR list, and I think I enjoyed doing the jar for it, so I will definitely do that for my April TBR list as well. But yes, I definitely enjoy these books. Highly recommend all of these books to anyone, especially if they want to start getting into reading, or want to get into fantasy a little bit more, or even into mystery a little bit more, or even want to try historical fiction. Recommend The Nighting Gale for sure by Christine Hanna. But I really hope you guys found maybe a possible read that you guys could enjoy. And yeah, I just love recommending books to you guys, and really hope that something does come out of this for you, and you guys do find a book that interests you, that you will want to add to your April TBR, or just your TBR list in general for this year. So yeah, I really enjoyed this list, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel for more content, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.